Welcome to the Toffee TV Podcast. I believe we're on to episode 15.
50.
I don't think it really matters, but we're here to talk about...
It's an episodic series.
Is it?
Throughout time, yeah.
Are we gonna...
Maybe we'll get a second series?
Maybe, who knows? I think we need to up the game a little bit. We need to get what was it, cereal? Not like breakfast cereal.
I was going to say, what?
We're not listening to cereal, no?
No.
Not listening to podcasts? Not listening to any other podcasts?
No, not really. I listen to some football ones every now and again, but not really.
I do.
Andy, what podcasts do you listen to?
All football ones.
Just all football?
I like Malcolm Gladwell's Revisionist History. That's like he looks back at things in history that people have, looked at and assumed to be something, but it's not. It's quite good. I like history.
Revisionist history? That sounds like things that happen on Merseyside. The football teams.
It does.
Sounds a little bit...
Well, I still listen to Broken Record, which is by the same fella. That looks like they go
sounds like this podcast.
Yeah, they talk about albums, and great albums throughout time, and like they had one with Nile Rodgers, and it was great. He was telling how he came up with the tune for David Bowie's Let's Dance. It was good.
I like the fact that you did the motion there for a guitar, which they won't see.
Yeah.
I liked was the fact he said he only listens to football podcasts and then reeled off history and musical ones.
No, apart from that, I listen to all the football podcasts, but I don't want to give them any press because we've got our own.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Like other podcasts are available.
Well, yeah, but
there's a lot of other podcasts.
There is.
No,
I'll be appearing on one of the
It's not a problem that other people listen to other podcasts, because that's good, because if you're listening to other podcasts, it means you'll listen to this as well. It'll roll in. Unless you've only got time for one, then make it us.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, some people will go on and say there's too many podcasts, but
there can't be too many of anything.
There
can't be too many.
Cereal.
Cereal's amazing.
The first series is great. The second and third are weird, but
I like the third one. I didn't like the second one, but I did like the third one. The third one was really good.
Patriotism.
The third one. The third one was the second one was about the
Bo Bergdahl,
the guy in the army guy, and the third one was about the court in I think it was Ohio. It was really good. The first one was amazing though, about that kid.
Said,
Oh, that was brilliant. Baz is just listening. He doesn't know. Basically, the first series was about
it's huge.
A lad who got done for murder in America.
Okay.
And
he didn't do it.
They're saying there's loads of evidence that points to he didn't do it, but they won't give him
a split. 50-50.
They won't give him a retrial. They won't give him a retrial. So. It's dead interesting, really, really interesting.
It was the first case, didn't they use cell towers to position?
Yeah, what's interesting about it is it's like the police only get a certain amount of time to basically look over all these cases. There's loads and loads and loads of the murder cases, and they basically just go, he looks good. You're guilty. You'll do. Whereas they went through the actual evidence, and then they were like, no, he's actually probably not guilty. But again, it's like we haven't got time to give him a retrial. So soz lads. And yet in the third
take it on the chin, lad.
In the third series, because it was about this court, and every episode was about a different thing. Basically, no one ever goes to court because they always just either plead out or they come to an agreement, because it's like it costs so much money. And they say, but what they're saying is that loads of innocent people end up having to do some kind of jail time or have some kind of record simply because they can't afford lawyers, so they give them one, or because they think, well, I'm going to get caught, I'm going to get done anyway because the system's against me, so I might as well plead to a lesser charge and take that. And it's just, they're basically saying that the whole system's rigged against poor normal people.
It's like the Premier League.
It's horrendous. It very much like VAR. Yeah. So, what are we talking about?
Steve Walsh did an interview with The Athletic, didn't he? Rob Tanner.
He did. The wonderful Athletic.
Yeah.
It was a very Leicester heavy article.
Yeah, there's only a little bit about Everton.
I think there's a reason for that. I think he might have signed something.
Yes, I do, because it said 18 months on, he refuses to speak in detail. Yeah.
I think that.
Is Keith Winers' deal still going?
I don't know.
I didn't know he had a deal. I don't know legally if we can say he's got a deal.
Maybe not.
Steve Walsh said that he was reluctant to speak about it.
Redacted said.
Black line said. President
he said
Trump.
basically that there was 3 transfers he had lined up, didn't he? One of which was Ergy Haaland, which was laughable because he probably didn't. But the other 2 are Harry Maguire and Andy Robinson, which I think were floated at the time, weren't they? I think Andy Robinson was available quite cheap. He went to Liverpool for 10 million, didn't he? It's easy in hindsight to say that, though, because if they were bad players, he wouldn't mention them.
If only someone had told him at the time to sign them.
Yeah.
I mean, Everton apparently made contact with Hull in January when Marco Silva was the manager, funnily enough. but wouldn't pay $8.5 million, I think it was, in January. And he had another couple of clubs, Robertson turned the other clubs down, didn't turn Everton down, Everton pulled out apparently. So obviously they were looking at something at that stage, but he was saying he'd had a deal lined up with the pair of them for 20 million, him and Harry Maguire.
How ridiculously short-sighted is that though? That, you know,
next summer
we knew Baines. Listen,
2015.
You only have to. You look at his passport. You know how old he is, so you know 16, he's coming to the end of his career.
15, 16. You could see starting.
You could see a player in the Premier League. Robinson. I really liked Robinson when he was at Hull. He was just one of those.
In the last few years,
he was one of those players who maybe because of where he was playing, people didn't think he was good enough. I really thought he was a good player.
He was an Everton type of player, wasn't he?
Yeah, and we knew Baines was coming to the end, so I can't quite understand why Everton wouldn't have gone for it, especially considering we started that season with only one recognised left back, Martina, and Luke Garbett, who was never getting was never going to get a go. And it just seems, again, the whole thing that comes out of this is, what were the priorities that summer? It just.
The problem is using logic.
Is that the problem?
That you don't want to do that with Everton, no. Because foresight, probably
Bruce. Bruce, yeah. I was thinking
Steve, that. Foresight. Everton, until relatively recently, Marcel Brands were the people like the fact that he's looking much into the future rather than the present. We never really had that. If you think about it, we had the Moyes years, which were hand to hand. Even Martinez never really had money, because we had obviously the Lukaku year.
We didn't have money on them.
And then he spent money on.
No, but people forget that. What I would say is that people do forget that actually Martinez didn't have that much money.
No, Lukaku.
Once the Lukaku money had gone, that was it. There wasn't much else.
But that was one of the best investments Everton ever made, because you knew you were getting a double his price within a couple of seasons.
Yeah,
that good. But apart from that, no. So we were living year to year, hand to mouth, and then when Mashiri came in that first summer, we didn't really spend that much money the first summer. We got Blassie, Garner, and who else was? That was about it, wasn't it? Wasn't much else that first summer, because we started
Ashley Williams.
But that was that was Stones' money, wasn't it, really? Because we sold Stones that summer. And then, so really, when Walsh came in, even still, the manager's attitude was still short term, because I think we all know that Ronald Koeman thought he was bigger than ever when he stepped through the door.
Of course he was.
And then when he bought Premier League players so he gets 6, just so he said, I got 6.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't.
No, he didn't. To be fair,
but he got us in Europe.
Yeah, he got 7, to be fair.
And then
what a guy.
Played in Europe.
Yeah.
So for Everton didn't have any foresight. For years, not just myself, loads of people were saying, Baines, you need to start grooming someone, and we didn't. And then luckily, thank God we got Lucas Dean, but it's, you don't always have that luck.
No. And you tied this into the Davy Klassen interview as well.
Yeah,
which was done by Greg. And he's talking about, he signed and he had this idea, he was given this idea of what he was going to be. I don't think he would have been a number 10, but we wouldn't have had a number 10. We would have had a box-to-box midfielder playing probably in the 8 role. And he was thinking, right, I'm ready for the next challenge. And he knew it was going to be tough. And he says in the interview, everyone was stronger than him and knew. But then he said, they bring in Wayne Rooney and they bring in Gylfi Sigurdsson. And you're like, and then you read that about Walsh and you're thinking, who's in charge of this club? Who's running the transfer side of things? Who's pulling the strings? And that's what I'm saying. Like, we needed a left back that summer. So why didn't we sign a left back? We needed 2 centre backs, not 1 centre back. We didn't need 1. We needed 2. And we signed Keane. But we needed. Imagine if we'd gone out and bought Keane and Maguire.
We know that.
God, what a centre half pair.
We know that the person doing Harry Maguire's deal still came back to Everton on the day that he signed for Leicester, saying, it's 17 million, do you want him? Because he wants to come to Everton. And Everton said no, and then we're talking a year later, 11 months later, United offered 80 million for him and it was turned down, or 75 million Mourinho. And he goes this next summer for 85 million. So you do have to question, for 17 million quid, 17 million. And I'm not, anyone who's watched this or listened to us knows that I'm not a big Harry Maguire fan. I think he's alright. But he's been in the Premier League, so for 17 million quid, providing he was alright, you're making money on him. So it was short-sighted again.
Well, yeah, and you think, you look at Michael Keane, he's had one really good season at Everton, the other 2 struggled. He came from a system that didn't suit him when he came from a low block system. We tried to play high line. You look at Harry Maguire, who came from a more open system. He probably would have fit Everton much better than Michael Keane. If you think about it.
Left-footed.
He's more of an Everton player.
Yes,
he's got that
toughness as well.
Leadership. He's always the reason why I liked him more than Keane was. I always thought he was a leader. All right, football wise, in terms you can say, if you don't fancy him or not, but there's a reason why Maguire has become the player he has, and it's because of that leadership side of him. You can see it in him.
He doesn't shake, does he? He doesn't shake the challenge. He looks like he can. All right, I've got massive issues with he can't. He thinks he can play and he can't.
He does.
People run off him and he doesn't see them run off him and stuff like that. But he'll have a go for you. He's big and strong. So 17 million was a no-brainer for me at that time, and before particularly knowing that he was offered again on the same day that he went there is so annoying to me. And it's, you see, I looked at the whole thing. Me and Ped done something for a video actually about it, and you look at the one hand saying one side saying this, and the other side, like Walsh is contradicting something that he was very much in the middle of, going, I offered Everton these players, and he didn't take them. And yet, on this side, we're spending 45 million, which is something Klassen said when in spoke.
Was it him or was it the manager, though? Because no matter who the director of football is, and he even said this in interviews, that he thought he'd be shaping Everton's entire... I'm not going to really defend Steve Walsh, but he said he thought he'd be shaping the Everton's sort of footballing side, and he didn't. And I think Ronald Koeman obviously wanted certain players, and he wanted certain players. Like William Jose, for example, we were linked heavily with him. Yeah, and I think Koeman turned him down because he wanted Olivier Giroud, which obviously never came. So that's why I haven't entered the season with Wayne Rooney and Donna Calvert-Lewin as the strikers that season. And then he also wanted, who else? He wanted someone else to. Who was it? It was Harry Maguire, wasn't it? Sorry, and Andy Robinson. But I don't know. I think that you can't buy players the manager doesn't want it, because you look at Sandro. I don't think Koeman wanted Sandro. Now people go, he was rubbish.
But Koeman went to watch him though.
He did, but
he scored.
But he didn't play though. If you look at as soon as he had one bad game, it wasn't like Sandro had 10 chances. It was like a couple of games. And I'm not saying Sandro would have ever been good for Everton, but for 7 million. As a second or third striker, he wasn't that bad. Let's be honest here. We've seen worse at Everton. Umani has. I know Umani scored, don't be wrong, but I think
the thing with Niasto is physically he was more suited to the Premier League.
I'm not saying I think Sandro's ever going to turn out to be a good player. I just think that he was his confidence was quite sharp.
What I would say about that season is we started the season. He started it in a way. Rooney was up front and Sigurdsson was off the left and Klassen was in the middle and
I remember him doing well, like Klassen said, though.
Right.
But
but...
He won 1-0 against Stoke,
He got through and he beat Stoke. But what he did do very quickly, Koeman, was he lost where he was going incredibly quickly. Yeah. So by game 4 or 5, he'd lost the plot. Yeah. And I don't know why. Why? For someone who was so assured. Don't forget, I remember this questioning him on here. After the United defeat, we got beat 4-0. He was asked about Everton challenging for the top 6. And all previous season, he'd said next season, we're going to be going for the top 4. After United beat us 4-0, the press were like, are you still confident you can challenge for the top 6? And he was like, that was never the case. That was never, we're nowhere near. And you're like, hang on. All season, first season, you've said it's next season for the top 6 and the top 4 next season. We get to that summer, spend 150 million quid, and you're telling me now that it's still not this season, it's next season maybe. Where did that thinking come from?
Watching us.
No, but also the problem is as well, you look at the team the previous season, right, and then you go into the next season. So we signed Balassi. I don't think he was ever a good sign himself because he's not a great end product, but he did all right when he played. He did okay, when he played.
He started the season well.
You've got Balassi who's quick. You had Barkley who could dribble, take a pass, could run. Lukaku was quick, so you had a bit of pace on the side. Koeman then changed this, and then in the summer we became this really slow physical side that would challenge Mourinho's 2004 Chelsea team quite well actually. But football was moving away from that. It's become more of a 1v1. Pace. Try and make space by using your pace and by using your strength. And Everton went completely opposite way to where football was going. That's partly why we're still having problems now, because the squad is ill suited to what we want to do. And I think he, after a couple of games, realised that he made a terrible mistake, and the squad just didn't have the pace to. And he didn't have the nous, because I think he's not a bad manager, but I think he didn't have the nous. So we go, we're going to change this completely and just go, basically get back to basics, and he couldn't do
so
that.
I mean,
paraphrase.
Basically, I think what comes out of both interviews is just a lack of leadership in the club from top to bottom at the time, because as Klassen said, we bought him, which would Koeman, clearly.
It was Koeman, yeah.
Wayne,
the club, I think.
Bill Kenwright, convinced Mashiri to buy him, clearly.
Yeah.
And then Gylfi Sigurdsson, maybe Walsh. I don't know. But
I'd guess it was Koeman again, because I don't think anyone who's got a good eye would spend. Don't get me wrong, Gylfi's a good player, but in a certain system. But I wouldn't spend £50 million nearly on Gylfi Sigurdsson.
What I would say about Gylfi Sigurdsson, there'd been rumours the back end of the season before that we were buying him. He'd been long linked. And Liverpool had looked at him, I think. I find it very, very strange that that all these different elements were coming from all different directions, rather than that through line coming from the top, which should really be your director of football. But I think what come across in that interview is that Steve Walsh hasn't got the persona to be a director of football.
He's a really good scout.
He's not he hasn't got the authority, where Brands, you just look at Brands, and whether people like Brands or not, you can see that when he walks into a room, that the boss is in the room. He's got that air about him. And when you look at Brands and look at Silva, I look at those two and I think Brands is his boss. I see that straight away.
That is the case, yeah.
And I think that's important.
Koeman was Walsh's boss, though.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think it never worked, and we ended up with this ridiculous. Because Koeman was always going to be the biggest. We'll have won the European Cup. I scored the winner. I played for Holland in Euro, 88 when we won it. I'm the biggest man in the room here, and that was part of the problem. I think is that Walsh just sort of was the guy who just was happy to just walk backwards, and where Brands, I think Brands will happily say now, if something doesn't work, that was my mistake. I made that mistake. Or whatever. But I think he would say it, and I think. So it's difficult at the moment to look at it, look at what's going on now and say, there's comparisons, because I think we're still in it too much, with it too much in the early stages. But that is a lesson to be learned. I think what happened there. I think you've got to have that clear through line.
What I want to know is have we learned from those mistakes as a club? Because quite clearly that summer, I said this on the video, Brands was Mashiri's first choice. He refused to come. Monchi was his second, and he got a little thing.
Which is mad, really, that Monchi's your second choice at that time when he was coming off those European.
Well, I think the problem was he knew about Brands, because Arsenal wanted Brands, so he knew about Brands. And he,
Chelsea also had a look at
Chelsea. Well, he turned Chelsea down. He turned United down. Turned United and Chelsea down. Arsenal liked him, didn't get him. So quite clearly he was in Mashiri's thought process. This is what I want a director of football. This fella Marcel Brands, Arsenal wanted him. United and Chelsea turned them down. So he was quite clearly in his thinking, but Brands said straight from the offer, I'm not leaving, I'm happy where I am. So then he went to Monchi, who was the best in the game, and Monchi wanted to come, and he thought he'd had to deal with Monchi, and if they pulled it at the 11th hour.
That's right, yeah.
So fair enough. So he then went to Walsh, because Walsh had won the league on a shoestring budget and all that, but Walsh was the chief scout and assistant manager or assistant first team coach. So he come in unqualified to do the job that we needed him to do. He knew how to see a player
in the first year.
In year one
of the job as well, which I think is very important.
The job had never been done, nothing was in place, and he arrived after the manager. So if Walsh would have been in post and then Koeman come in, you would have been going, this is Steve Walsh, our director of football, blah, or sporting director, whatever you want to call it, blah, blah, blah. But Koeman was already in. He was in with his having, his pancakes and all that, and his trips to Ellesmere Port before Walsh got in.
It was his red stripe he was having, wasn't it?
Well, he was having red stripe, should have been here, and he was at the bar giving it all.
Well, his intro video was in his villa in Spain.
Well, exactly. So the commitment wasn't straight off the bat. Portugal.
But who cares? You can't get caught in the sun anyway.
There you go.
Whoa! Hang on.
Is there a bit of red?
Hang on. You do not get to talk about my people like that.
Are you an albino as well?
Is he an albino? Look, you're just making accusations.
No, so as I was saying,
allegedly,
the process had already began the wrong way round straight off the bat. So, but have we learned as a club? Have we learned? Well, you've got your hands in the air.
I'm going to say, is that not I'm not saying, well, I'm not going to say Marco Silva's fucking Ronald Koeman because he's not. Sorry for swearing. He's not Ronald Koeman, is he? But
sorry, it was the way you said it, not what you said.
Yeah, but he's not. He isn't Ronald Koeman, though, is he? In the sense that I don't think he's got the ego of Ronald Koeman. Now, Ronald Koeman was one of the greatest footballers ever to play centre half, blah blah blah. But he had an ego, didn't he? And he wouldn't. And I think maybe my brands wouldn't want to have come at the times because probably Koeman and him probably wouldn't have worked well together.
No, we didn't like
Koeman. And now you've got Mashiri's choice, which is Marco Silva, and you've got Brands, who's also Mashiri's choice. But the question is, do they mesh? And obviously, I've raised those questions before about. Marco obviously likes to go back to experienced players when he's under pressure, which is understandable because you don't want to pick players who make mistakes. But Brands is building a team that is young and needs to be playing through these mistakes.
I think it's clear to say, though, that Silva was Brands' choice as
well. He had the choice. He definitely had the choice.
And he had the opportunity.
And I still think
he gave him the opportunity to...
And by all accounts, he still backs him as well.
He does, so... But what I'm saying is, I'm more interested in the club as a whole. Have we learned from that? Because... Is Marcel Brands really driving all of the bus? I don't know. What I would say is, I think over the next 6 to 8 months we'll see.
That's change.
We'll know more because I think I'll just finish because I think the players we've signed, I wouldn't argue with really. I don't think we've bombed on any of the players.
No single one, no.
So that's a good. Yeah. Whether this manager can get everything out of him, I don't know. Whether all of the players fit together, I don't know. And only time will tell. And I think we'll see more behind the scenes, academy-wise and stuff about what Brands.
Well, that's a good point because, like we've just been saying there, if someone comes in and the person in charge isn't their choice, then straight away there's going to be an issue. Yeah. People are going to be butting heads.
Yeah. Now, Mourinho.
But that happens at every level. So if you go into the academy and Marcel Brands turns up and there's already people who've got established jobs who are quite comfy, and listen, I'm not having to go at anyone here. But no, you won't. You won't. But what I would say is that I think people can find themselves very, very cushy jobs in academies where they don't get tested. Oh, I give you this kid when he was 14. Oh, it's not my fault when he gets to the first team he's not good enough. He just didn't develop the way we wanted him to. And you can go, wasn't my fault. And the manager takes all the flack. And why didn't he make it? And I think at every academy you'll get people who are there for years who do an alright job, but when someone comes in and challenges them and asks them to do a little bit more or prove that they should have a job there, I think that's when the issues will come. And you're absolutely right, until we get through that process in the next 12-18 months of going not just from the first team but all the way through the academy and getting all the people out of the club that are just coasting along, I don't know, go in the bookies in their Everton training gear and go, look at me, you still at Everton? Yeah, coach the under whatever. I know people walking around scouting pictures with the coat on and all that.
A lot of that ask.
No, I know, but that's the point. Until that all goes and it becomes a more professional outfit and it's run exactly the way Brands wants it to run, which I don't think it is. From top to bottom of the club, we're not going to get this harmony all the way through the club, and we're sort of in a stage at the moment where we're trying to do that, and I think that might be upsetting a few people behind the scenes, and it might be upsetting other people who mightn't be happy to see their friends go, or whatever, and we need to get that completely done so we can. The people at the club can go, right, we're done now.
I think...
I agree totally.
I mean, what do you think about... Neville Southall made the points last week about the first team should follow the way the academy play. And I thought it was really interesting the way he said it, because he said what you're doing is you're establishing the way your club wants to play football through the kids. If you then... He said it's easier almost to get the first team to play like the academy than the academy to play like the first team.
You build from the bottom up, don't you? You look at Man City, but 3 years before they got Pep, they've got Ferran Soriano and Tshiki Begiristain. I can't say the names. But them two obviously came from Barcelona, and what they did is to entice Pep partly is establish the Barcelona type way, the Pep type way in the academy. So by the time now, where we're so many years down the line, then players are coming through now, and having played Pep's system, knowing that he was going to be the manager, and it fits perfectly. Now, obviously, we can't foresight who we want to be the manager because it changes. However, if you have a set of principles and philosophies, then you can fit the manager to that and fit the club, and that's what I think Brands wants to do.
And that's why it works at clubs like Ajax, is that philosophy never changes. It never ever changes. So the manager comes in, the manager knows what he's getting. Again, it's the same with the manager at the moment. People who are coming through from the under 23s now, or are trying to come through, they're coming through. They're players who, not so long ago, would have been playing the Martinez system, because they would have been playing.
That ever filtered down.
No, but the point being is that we've had so many different changes and different managers in the last 4 years that the club can't catch up fast enough. So there's kids who are if you stick into this philosophy, if we change it every time we get a new manager, then you're changing everything below them. These kids have got 1 year they're playing Martinez philosophy, the next year they're playing Koeman's philosophy, and that you've got to have that ethos, haven't you, which the manager buys into, or you bring a manager, so that, because the manager's never going to get the benefits of what he wants unless he's at the club for 4 or 5 years. It's never going to happen, is it?
But the club, I suppose, with having the likes of Marcel Brands or someone like that in that role, the idea is he is the club.
Continuity,
your manager, you'd like your manager to stay for 4 or 5 years, because then you're getting stability and the team can develop. But the reality of that is, when you replace him with someone who's the same as him, so they are getting the benefits of it.
Don't go Sean Dyche. You go someone who can play a similar, I'm not saying the same, but a similar brand, the same principles as Silva, maybe better or whatever, but that's the key. And the problem is that the academy at the moment, from a very young age, the philosophy is win everything at them ages. Now at City, they don't. Now I know City win things, and so do Chelsea, but the actual principle of the academy is not to win at them ages. So you don't play to win. It's development, pass and move, positional play, whatever you want. Whatever Manchester United is passing and dribbling, for example. They're the key principles all the way through. And by the time they get to those teams, they've also learned a number of different systems. They've obviously managers coming in and out, train with different types of people, and the coaching as well is geared towards that. Whereas at Everton, they play different ways all the way through the age. Now, people go, "Well, that's good though," because they get to learn different styles. But they're playing to win. They're cutting corners. You look at the 23s; they miss the midfield out a lot. Basically, to win games, and they play older players in the under 23s, and basically the oldest team in the league. And that's why, because they're more physically developed, they're more experienced. They beat the Manchester Cities.
Do we look for too much from the academy? Do you think? No, for the 20. No. What I mean by that is, are we expecting the class of 92?
No.
I think some people are.
It's twofold.
I think
you'll get 1, 2, 3, maybe at most every other year. But it's also they're also sellable assets.
Sellable assets, yeah.
Because Liverpool are selling players for 6-7 million who've never sniffed the first team, and because they come through the Liverpool academy. These players are getting moves everywhere. There's lads playing for Stuttgart that they got off Bolton, Nathaniel Phillips. They'll probably fetch 8 million off a Championship club next year.
Chelsea, they bought players from all over, and all right, they've had to pay a price for that, but they sold them on, and it kept the FFP down.
City.
City do. This is what I get. This is my biggest issue with the Everton academy, is it's not that we're not getting players through, because that's not. There's only a limited amount of good players anywhere, and we're in the Northwest, and there's a lot of good teams in the Northwest. In fact, there's probably a smaller concentration of good teams. There's probably not a smaller concentration anywhere in the world than there is between Liverpool and Manchester and the Northwest.
Vying for players.
So it's always going to be tough. But if you get good players, then what do you do with them? We let them go off on free transfers. It's an absolute joke. This is one of the things. Their plan has been absolutely abysmal, and I don't know whose plan it has been, but it's abysmal.
I think it's been dictated by whoever runs the academy at the time. I think the club is unhappy for the academy to run.
Well, this is what happens, right? This is what happens, right? We get a kid. They look half promising, so we give them a contract which is paying them far too much.
Yeah.
Number one, that takes the hunger out of it for them, I think, personally. And number two, if you don't stop messing with that bit of metal, I'm going to kill you, because we've got microphones. Honest to God. Honest to God.
Go on.
Amateur hour here.
Come on.
Right. Hold off now. And then what that happens, so you don't have that hunger, which I think, even when we spoke to Duncan last week, he was saying, that hunger's not necessarily there anymore. So you get these kids on big contracts, and then we're not sending them out on loan anywhere early enough, and we're not sending them places that they're going to play. João Virginia is on the bench for Reading. The kid who's gone to Hull has hardly kicked the ball.
He's just got in bowler, hasn't he?
But he's just got in. It's November. But Pennington.
But the other fella who's, and I'm saying
Pennington, who's 36. Pennington's getting a testimonial. He's not playing. Right, so that's another thing we do poorly.
Garbutt's Stuart testimonial.
Garbutt's still on our book.
Oh, Stuart's testimonial.
Exactly.
He's playing left wing now.
Right. And then, so we're not selling them because the wages they're on. These clubs probably can't even compete with the wages they're on.
The level they're at, they can't afford to go down to that level.
Instead of trying to offer them up and say, right, hunger, desire, you want to play for us or you want to play for someone else, these kids are just coasting along. They're never getting challenged. And they've already made a living by the time they're 23. And then they're like, well, all right, I'll move there. And Everton should be like, by the time they're 20, Everton should have made the decision on
this is up and down the country, by the way.
I'm not interested about up and down the country.
No, it is, but
I'm saying
across the park,
it's
they've
up and down the
changed
country.
Since Inglethorpe and Klopp's been there. They've made them all a level with, and basically to get more money, you bonus basically, and you get certain bonuses. And Marcel Brands
Everton's trying to do that.
Is going to do that because he doesn't want a disparity between the top and the bottom in the same team. He wants everyone similar, and people who perform well will get paid more.
And that's the way the kids. And you know what's worse about kids, right? You get to a certain age in your life and you just go, why am I wearing a jumper that costs X amount when I've got a bill to pay, right? But when you're young, it's all about going out. It's, we're all peacocks, aren't we? We're all going out. We're all trying to attract, whatever. And we want to look. No, but we want to look good. So imagine you've got like a squad of 18 to 21 year olds, and you're paying one a fortune, and one's driving in like I don't know, a modest car. I don't know what a modest car is for a kid, that's a modest car for a taxi driver. And then another one is driving in and he's already got top of the range 4x4 or something. And you're already I'm not people like, oh, that's good though. That's like you're saying that's the level. It's not. These are kids. All it'll drive them to is to try and cut those corners instead of saying, you'll all get to that because you're all going to do it as a team, and that's a big problem I've got with Everton. It's not just Everton's academy. We said last week, let's create something. The first 11 to get to London, but from Liverpool, you can be the starting team.
The Duke of Kenwright Award.
Exactly. Yeah. Put it on Channel 5, and you've got a winner. Yeah. So
Marcel Brands cracking the whip as he goes down the motorway.
You know what I mean? Your phone and 20 quid. Get from Liverpool to London. Let's see who can do it. Come on.
So after we'd end up in Scotland, let's be fair.
But wouldn't that be fun?
No, but you're right.
That is a problem.
It's about trying to create that hunger and trying to create that development. You can't drop off any day. Once you become comfortable in what you're doing, you can earn it. Listen, you can earn it. Have a good career to Everton until you're 23 before you're released.
Exactly.
Well, yeah. Great career, Evan. No, I feel sorry for Conor because at one time he was a reasonably good player.
I don't feel sorry.
He had a lot of bad injuries. He was a decent player at one time. It ruined his career. You do. When people got talent and it goes to waste, you do feel sorry for them. Sorry to say, I do anyway.
No, I
don't think it's any fault of his own that he had all
that. Do you know what? I'm not saying it's a fault.
No, not for Everton, but I think he was good enough to be a championship player. And he was best. But
it's about decision making as well. It's about we were having a chat before about Lewis Gibson. Stuff going on with him, and I personally think he should sign another deal with Everton because I think he is quite close and it's about development. But some other players who, and I include Morgan Feeney in this, and I like Morgan, he's a lovely lad and all that, down to it, big Evertonian and everything. Nobody is.
I was just thinking of something with Lewis Gibson.
Yeah,
go on,
but for him, he's 20 now, I think, Morgan. 20.
He's
right,
21,
nearly 21 or 20.
21.
Right, he's 21. So therefore, he's a centre back. He's 21 years of old.
Professional game of football.
Mason Holgate's 22 and is in our first team. Now, okay, Mason's not been great. He's been in and out, but at the moment he's playing really well, and he's in on merit at the minute. But even at 19, he played for Everton's first team. Morgan's played in Minshall under Allardyce, wasn't it? So that season, and he come on against Atalanta, didn't he? Because Andre gave him his debut, basically. Other than that, he's had nothing. No. And so I know he had a knee injury, he was out for about 5 months, 6 months, but within that, he now has got to be going. If I was him, I'd be thinking, I need to get out and play, because I don't know whether I can go any higher than an under-23 league He'll want to play for Everton because you're Evertonian, right? We can sit here and go, not good enough. We don't know. At the moment,
he was never given the pathway to be good enough, though, because he should have been out low.
No, but they have to have that desire. Anthony Evans is still playing for our 23s.
But that's because it's cushy. But
that's what I'm saying about. But that's what made me think about Lewis Gibson. Then you're saying we'll get to the end of the season, we'll give him a contract, and we'll go, oh, we really want you to stay, and we'll give him a nice fat contract, and it's like, and we'll go and sign another centre back. We'll go and sign another contract.
I think he's from that generation that wants to play, though.
No, I know, but that isn't that the point. He does want to play, but he just doesn't. He wants to play, and he knows he's not going to play forever.
So what would you? Yeah, before we move on, what would you do with Lewis Gibson?
What I'd do to him?
With him?
What I'd do to him is I would come up with an idea of what he wants to do before, because at the end of the day, you're just falling into the same trap there.
I know.
All right, but just hear me out. Just hear me out, right? Okay. You're just falling into the same trap. You're saying we've got someone there who's a good player, right? And you're saying we want you to stay. So you're going to offer him 25 grand a week, and then go, what do we do with him now?
I would not.
But that's the point.
I wouldn't offer him anywhere near.
But he will, though. They will, because
he mightn't do, because Marcel Brand mightn't be interested.
But someone they'll offer him, right? What they should do is say, we want to offer you a new contract, but here's what we want to do with you. We want to send you to a club in Germany for 2 years, right? And we put you on loan for 2 years, and you learn and you grow and you play football, and then in 2 years we get the benefit of that.
Say he doesn't want that as a player,
but then we have to let him go then.
Okay.
Honestly, because what is the point?
That was the point of me question.
All you're doing is collecting players for the sake of collecting players. If you don't put a pathway in front of them, which we're not, because we will sign another centre back.
Of course we will. We might sign one in January. But what I'm saying to you is that my whole point of that is when I said to you, are we expecting too much from the academy? When you've got a team, and we've said this many times, when you've got a team, an academy team, you're looking at that team and you're going, 2 out of this maybe will make it. The rest are fillers. The rest are getting them games, right? So we might look at that under 23 squad, right? And we might go, Anthony Gordon, got a chance. We can't say he's going to make it because we don't at Everton, because we don't know.
He's not going to make it at Everton.
Anthony Gordon.
No, sorry. I thought you said Anthony Evans then. Sorry, man.
No.
Just to go on record, that does not like Anthony Gordon.
I'm trying to think and listen at the same time. It's very difficult.
Don't multitask. Just listen. So Anthony Gordon, we'll look and we'll go Lewis Gibson in that fit, and out as an outside chance, Ellis Sims.
Right,
because
as well.
I
think that got something.
So at the most we're saying there's 4.
And you're
right?
saying 2 really, yeah.
At the most there's 4. So Ellis Sims, we don't know. It's his first season, we're unsure. Ryan Ashley looks decent, but is he really better than John Joe Kenny?
He's a centre-back.
But he can also... Well, he plays right-back, doesn't he?
I hate the way he plays right-back.
Right, but he plays right. So he's a right-back at the moment.
He's too small to play
centre-back. So realistically, realistically, out of that squad, we're saying potentially there's 2. Okay. And one of them is Lewis Gibson. And that's why I'm saying to you, he may be offered the contract. Rather than stockpile 6 of them, one of them may be offered. The other one is in.
You've got those 4, right?
Yeah.
If you got those 4 right now, and you go, there's a chance you're gonna make it at Everton, right? Then surely your next decision, your very, very next decision is, we have got to find a club for these players right now. No. We know they're great, so here's a big contract and just keep playing for the other. No, I know, but that's what's been happening.
No, but you're misinterpreting what I'm saying.
I'm not misinterpreting what you're saying. I'm not misinterpreting what you're saying. I'm telling you what they do. They do that all. This is what Everton have been doing for the last few years. Have been doing. They get every player that they think is good and go, you're great. They wait. They give them a contract, let them play for the under-23s, wait then another couple of years, and then say, right now, go and look. It's like John Joe Kenny. The minute they seen John Joe Kenny in that under-23s, they should have gone, right, send this lad on loan now.
Brands wasn't in then.
I agree, but the problem is still, even this season.
Still there, though.
So you go to the end of the season, you win that trophy, you go, right, Morgan Feeney, Jenna Sadner, whether you think they're good enough or not, they should have been sent out alone, even just to raise the
I
price.
thought it was going to happen this season.
Yes.
I thought this season the under-23s was going to be full of 18 and 19-year-olds. And I thought Feeney would be gone. I thought Charsley would be gone. I thought Evans would be gone. I thought half of them would be gone. And they're all still playing.
Feeney.
What makes it worse is Umani, oh my God, Umani has to play for
now Umani might be playing because...
Why don't
listen?
It doesn't matter.
He may be playing because to get him games, get him goals, and in January
that's unacceptable.
Take him.
That's unacceptable.
Take him.
I'm sorry, but that's unacceptable. Okay. No, but that's...
I've seen him. Never knows
exactly.
What he looks like.
It's unacceptable. This is the problem Everton have got. Is that we hoard. Remember that fella on the Life of Grime? We're hoarding players for no reason. What we're saying, we're going, you're good, you're a good player, or we'll keep you, give you 25 grand. And what they're not saying is, it's like Dal shouldn't be anywhere near Everton Football Club anymore. Someone should have made the decision, gone, son, you're not good enough for us. You're not.
But there's people out there who think he is.
But he's not.
He's not.
And if he was, he'd be playing for pissing it in the Championship, like Tingio was for what's his name? Plays a front for Chelsea now.
Abraham.
Exactly.
And Harry Wilson was for that.
They're showing you. Those players are showing you if you're good enough or not. If they're pissing it in the Championship and they're scoring 20 goals and bending free kicks top corner, that's telling you.
It'd be a start if Dal actually got a game.
Exactly.
Dal's chance, right? Dal's not for Everton, but in general to be like, something as a football, like he can still be. But was that not the season at Nottingham Forest where he had under Mark Wahlberg and he scored I think 9 or 10 goals pre-Jan? And then Cranker came in and it all ended for him. And then after
because someone asked him to do some hard work.
Well, no, he came back and it all stalled for him. And now he played for Derby under 21s tonight. And let me be honest here, I know it's over for Keane Dal.
It's over.
He made the minute he made the decision to go to Sheffield United rather than Rangers. For me,
it was. I'm not
that for me. But that for me was the moment when I knew whether he had the bottle right, because what he should have done. He should have gone with Steven Gerrard, because Steven Gerrard, like him, hate him, whatever, right, is someone who demands it out of you, right? And going and playing, all right, it's Scotland, so it isn't amazing, but playing in front of Rangers fans, you've got to produce. You have got to produce. It's a fishbowl. It's a difficult environment.
You're under pressure on the ball all the time.
Exactly, he would have had to grow.
For me, it was over the moment he played that Southampton game in the League Cup last season. I watched them. And he looked nowhere near it.
Do you mean when he sat in the stands for 80 minutes and then came back out and touched the ball?
It was embarrassing.
Let's not make about Kieran Dowler. He's a product of a bad system. Let's be honest.
But he's not though. He's
not.
No, hang on.
Players talented as
players have got to take. No. Players have got to take responsibility and decide. John Joe Kenny this season has decided. He's looked at his options and gone. He's looked at his options and gone. I could go to Schalke, play in the Bundesliga and be in the team week in and week out, and he's done it. He played against Bayern Munich, he gave a penalty away, and from that, and he's just gone, I'm haunted by that. I've just give a penalty with one of the best teams in the league, and that means I've got to roll. And he has.
What's been allowed to do? Learn from his mistakes.
But that's the point.
Exactly.
But people this is what I'm saying. No, people like Kieran Dowd. There's no making excuses for him. He's had opportunity. You say at Forest he was doing well, he was, and then someone come in and asked him to work hard for him, and he wouldn't. And it's Kieran Dowd will never be an Everton first team player. It will never be. But that's the point. Is that. The club have got to start making these decisions. And why aren't they seeing it right now? Why didn't they begin the season? They just gone, we don't think you're good enough, so we're letting you go.
Let's be honest, there's still an air of sentimentality about the youth team. It's nice. It is nice.
It's not nice.
No,
it's not nice.
It is in theory. Not for football, but it is in theory. Because I never think that sentimentality should play an issue in football. This is why I used to say we should probably get rid of Leighton Baines and people like that. And I know that's sacrilege to a lot of people, but football's not a sentimentality business. It's a results business. And bringing it back to the academy, Gary Charsley's 55 years old, and but fair enough. Let him train with the team.
I'm going to give you one name once you've said this.
Let him train, right? Ozzy Baxter.
No. I'm going to give you one name.
Let him train. Well, I know what you're going to say. Let him train with the academy by all means, but you don't have him playing in front of lads who potentially could play in front of him.
Right, who am I thinking of?
Bill Kenwright.
No, come on, what name? Come on, give me a name.
I don't know, go on, tell me that.
Go on, you told me you were going to tell me.
I thought you were going to say Bill Kenwright.
Right, John Lundstrom.
Yeah.
John Lundstrom. Right.
Plays in the Premier League.
Kicked that out. Right, totally leave Everton. Wasn't good enough. Right. Dealt with it. Come back through the leagues. He's now playing the Premier League and looks a Premier League player. Had unfortunate Leeds. Done the same thing. right? Had very, very good careers. Everton isn't the be-all and end-all for these kids, right? Shane Duffy, another one, very good. Played last night for Ireland, excellent, right?
Yeah, dog.
You've got to, if you want these kids to survive, you've got to be truthful and you've got to be honest and you've got to be brutal. Otherwise, all you're doing is fatten them up for under 23s footy. They're not going to make it. And if they're not going to make it for us, like you said before, at least give them a chance to make it for somebody else so we make some money off them.
Trying to create footballers and you have to make that decision. But our 23s should predominantly be 18 and 19. Our 18s should predominantly be 16 and 17 year olds. Our 16s should be 14 and 15 year olds. Really.
Because now this year you've got Gordon, Ashley.
Who play for our under 3s?
Choose.
Gordon, Ashley, in the first year.
And a couple of 3s just for experience.
Ashley,
and an embryo.
Gibson. Yeah. Gibson's in the second year. So Gibson should already be out on loan because it's second year in the under 23s. Now you want Morgan's third, fourth, fifth
but
year.
Apparently he's going out on loan in January, Morgan.
Why on loan now? Why?
Well, I don't know. But listen, it's got to be somewhere. The club are going to make it. You can't get rid of them all.
Why then? No, like this. Just the whole our team should have went out on loan. Or said to a club, we'll take 50%.
Put it this way.
50% just get rid of them.
Put it this way. Nobody who played in that first year of the under 23s winning the league should still be at Everton.
If they're not in the first team.
Or if they're not in the first team. They should not be.
The player that is in the first team is probably the best one.
They should not be in the Everton. They should not be Everton employees unless they're in the first team by now. Because if they haven't made it by now, they are never ever going to make it.
They'll be like 21, 22 most cases.
This is get rid of all this sentimentality.
No, what the problem is? That thing going around that Premier League debuts don't come to you 22 or 23. So that's in people's minds and going. Is it?
If you don't play in the first team at 18, or if you're not on loan by 18 or 19, you very rarely make it to top Premier League player. So,
but you know what? The main thing I think about all of this is, it's that hunger though. It's that thing we've been talking about. It's the hunger because they get to 18. Then they get in the under 23s and then they sit in the under 23s and they're going down to play at Boss training grounds and now they're playing at first team grounds and they're going on the coach and they're all trackied up and look, I'm at Everton playing, they're throwing a... Look at someone like David Hennon. David Hennon would be... Look, you went on like his Instagram when he was at Everton.
The Belgian Ronaldo.
But if you went on his like...
You'd think he was.
But if you went on his Instagram when he played for the under 23s, and he didn't even play for the under 23s that much.
No. On the bench.
You went on and looked at his Instagram, you would think he was Ronaldo. Nike have just sent me these boots, thanks very much, and he's driving and you were like, lad, you got signed because it made the Lukaku move a little bit smoother for everybody.
Right,
and that's the problem for me. It's that they get so much so early, and this isn't like, oh, I'm an old man. It's the hunger, it's the desire. Richarlison moving from another country, not speaking English. He had to go to Watford of all places. Come on. Do you know what I mean? How many times can you go around Harry Potter world? Come on!
What else is there? All I'll leave on this is Thomas Tuchel, when he was Mainz's youth coach, said he wanted the buses, wanted the tracksuits, the flights, everything. And he said when he became a first team manager, he instantly thought, I've made that terrible mistake here because these can't problem solve themselves. There's no hunger.
Ronald Koeman, for anything he did, said when he come to Everton, he basically just went, build a wall, please. He just went, Sorry,
did you say Ronald Koeman?
Donald Trump. Well, they've got the same hair. He basically said, those academy players do not come in here. And all the first team players, they have the canteen. And it used to be just the canteen that basically anyone could walk into. Now they've got this dead fancy, the first team, this has got this dead fancy room upstairs where no one can go in unless you're a first team player. It's got its own little office for the first team secretary to deal with any problems. And the academy players do not get near them now because Koeman said, you're academy players. You earn the right to be up there. You don't come in here with your flip flops on, and you because that's the thing. They've got all the training kits on, so they look exactly the same. They've got all the flip flops on, and they're walking around. You went, no, you earn that. You earn that, and that's something I think I would take from Koeman.
Academy on the trackies then.
Give them a different colour.
Yeah.
No, but listen, it is.
Beige.
Duncan was
saying
the same thing about responsibility and about desire and about having too much too soon. And it's right, it's absolutely right. And until, I don't know how it'd go back because...
Well, Phil Neville was talking about Valencia because his son Harvey was in the academy there while he was over there coaching. He said the Valencia made them all get the trainer or the coach to games. They went to school. Everything's been taken away from that. You know, I know they didn't always, but lads could play mates for footy with the mates. I know the club's frowned upon it, but they could play in the street. All that's gone now. They only play football when they go to that academy.
Yeah, it's all wrong, and it's we're not producing any better.
How did we do?
Steve Walsh.
How did we get from Steve Walsh?
Well, Marcel Brands.
We're just talking about the whole.
And I think Marcel Brands in the summer will change quite a lot about Everton.
And
hopefully,
then we'll see.
You know, and we'll come out better on the other side.
So basically, to sum up that first part, Marcel Brands is better than Steve Walsh.
And Haaland was never offered to Everton.
There you go.
Okay, there you go.
It was Leeds.
According to the PIV.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what he says. There you go. All right.
Have we got a game this weekend?
Yeah.
In part 2, we will be talking about said game. Norwich City at home. Happy days. We'll be back in a minute.
Coleman's mustard.
Thanks for downloading the Toffee TV podcast. But did you know we put all our shows out as podcasts? Head over to patreon.com/Toffee TV EFC and you'll find all the latest shows available as podcasts exclusively for Patreon subscribers. So if you need to find all the latest Everton news, conversations, stats, match previews and match reviews as easily downloadable podcasts at your convenience, head over to Patreon. Welcome back to part 2 of the Toffee TV podcast. Norwich City, Saturday at home, presents a fantastic opportunity for Everton to get back-to-back wins for the first time
this season.
Yeah, I was trying to think then. When was the last time we got back-to-back wins?
Last season sometime.
1984. What?
When was the last time we got back-to-back wins?
March, wasn't it?
Was it March?
Yeah, well, yeah, because we
we had like
the run, as they call
but
it.
we were like...
We beat Cardiff and drew with Liverpool.
Yeah,
but we beat West Ham away and then we won the home game.
That's
later.
since
So it was March.
Yeah, March.
Chelsea, wasn't it? Or something.
That was the
We
last
drew
time.
Chelsea, didn't we? No.
Beat them.
Oh, we did,
Two.
yeah.
Beat them
So,
home.
yeah. Anywho.
So, I mean, Norwich City and, I mean, you know, that presents a fantastic opportunity, but...
They're open as anything at the moment. Yeah, they've had they started the season reasonably well. Obviously, they beat Manchester City. They give Liverpool, I wouldn't say a test, but they made Liverpool's defence look a little soft that night. But since then, they've really struggled. The Pookie party, of course, has ended. But he did what he got in Finland.
Don't say that, mate.
He's just scored for Finland.
No, I was just going to say Finland got qualified for the first time in I think 40 or 50 years. So good for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it presents a great opportunity because this is probably the most open team in the league in terms of league and goals. We do usually do well against teams that come on to us, which Norwich, because of the style of play, and Daniel Farke is a coach who kept his principles from the Championship, and everyone's got the different opinions on whether you should try and be a bit more...
He does look like a Bond villain, though.
He does. He talks like a Bond villain as well. But yeah, I think it's... realistically, I think that they're really soft at the back. Ben Godfrey's got a lot of potential. I'm still wondering whether, he's still got a lot to develop into to become a good Premier League centre-back. And then they've got a host of other players who played it. I think Grant Hanley, who's not good at all, he's the captain. And they've missed Zimmerman as well, who's been out.
They got Max Aarons.
Max Aarons is at right back, Jamal Lewis who left. They're a good player.
They've
got some really good sellable assets that they'll probably lose at the end of the season if they go down.
They're basically training players up this year for other teams.
Well, Buendia is a good player, Pookie obviously. They've got some nice players, but I just think they haven't got a big wage bill really. I listened to
only spent 1.5 in the summer.
Yeah,
didn't
they brought in Amadou as a loan deal, and I think
what a fantastic song he must have.
Anyway,
bottom of the league, 7 points, 9 defeats in 12 games. Only won 2 games, and one of them was Manchester City. Which is mad.
And the other was Newcastle.
Minus 17.
For me, I think what we've got to do is, and you wouldn't expect anything less, of course. You've got to go out and be professional and turn up, be at them straight from out the gate. And I think as well though, this is fans have got to turn up on Saturday and not just be like, well, it's Norwich, we'll win this game, because these are the games that we haven't been winning, that we need to start winning. So don't treat them like, oh, we'll just turn up and win. Turn up like we expect to see the players. Go at them, but don't be sitting there on your hands just being like, well, entertain us. This is a game where you think, right, this is a big game for us. Win this, back-to-back wins. Difficult, month coming up, but you go in it. If you can go into that month off the back of a couple of wins, then it makes a hell of a difference.
Well, we're 1 win off 5th place, and that's the way you look at it. You've got to say, if we win at the weekend, we'd have won 5 out of 13. It's looking better all of a sudden. It was 3 out of 11. So you have to look at it like that. You you're going to be within touching distance of the European places if they win on Saturday night. You know, and we have got a big month coming up in December, of course, with 2 really horrible away games, Leicester and Liverpool. But going into Leicester on the back of 2 victories is a much different proposition. Leicester will be open because that's the way Rodgers plays. Yeah. So again, opportunities on the counter. So if we can come out and put them on the back foot straight away, you don't want to see us come out and just keep the ball and knocking it round. I want to come out.
This won't be that type of game though, will it? Because
no, but it's what Everton do though. It won't be because they'll be open.
They'll be coming on to us.
We've got to fly at them.
Yeah, it will do. Hopefully it'll be like the West Ham game.
I'm hoping it plays out.
I mean, you mentioned that Pukki is a good striker, great finisher, and if we give him opportunities, he can take them. But that's their main danger, man, and obviously to be working on that. Come back off the back of an international weekend, it's not always great, but we are at home, and we did. But last time we played West Ham when we come off the back of an international weekend, and we played really well in that game, got an early lead, and obviously finished it off late. But it would just be lovely to have sort of a nice routine. Win at Goodison Park, the things that we used to do all the time that we haven't been. Not saying we don't. We obviously we do win a lot of games at home. It's our bread and butter, but just that nice routineness of it. Where
hard work a lot of the time.
That's what I'm saying. Where you turn up and in the first 15 minutes, you're basically saying to the other team, "Nah, there's no point today, lads."
What's that?
Because we're gonna score early, and then we're gonna.
What Liverpool have been brilliant at for a few years now under Klopp, and they were good at it under Rodgers as well. Was these are the kind of games they'd be 3-0 up after half an hour because out, boom, straight on you, and they make you feel. And we used to do a bit more. We weren't as clinical as other teams, but what we would do we pin them back immediately, and then that doesn't allow you as an away team to get into the way you're playing. Too often, at times, Everton have been slow out the traps, and the away team's been popping it off, getting it back, and after 10 minutes. The crowd are a bit bored, and they're in the game then, and we're trying to get up to the level, and they're comfortable. Whereas it must be nothing worse than going out as an away team. The home team's all over you. The crowd are bouncing. They're having shots, and you feel like you're hanging on. Because when you feel like you're hanging on, and we saw this with West Ham, they started just giving us the ball all the time because they were under that much pressure.
We also, this is the thing that we don't need to control the game because Everton are at the best this season. When we're not doing the 500 pass nonsense, and the more these have the ball, hold on, go on. There's control, but there's control. But I'm talking about this side to side. Let them have the ball and come out.
We don't need 70%.
No, we don't.
I agree with some of that, but I don't agree with all of it. I think with a home team, and you're right, we shouldn't just be passing the ball around the back, but we should be controlling the ball against these. But when you control the ball, you do it with purpose.
Exactly.
I think against Southampton. I think if we play like we did against Southampton, but because we're at home, hopefully we won't have that slackness in our play and drop off like we did after the second half. That's what I'm looking for. Purpose in your play. And you're right, you don't need 20 odd passes between the centre backs, but I still want to see us control the ball. I don't want Norwich to have the ball at all. I want it to be all us, but I want it to be with purpose.
If they do get the ball though, and this is what worked against West Ham. I know West Ham didn't have the ball a lot, but they started the ball enough where we could counter press them and win the ball back high.
Want it back high.
I don't want a situation where we're pinning Norwich in and we're trying to break them down. I want them to come out. I'm not saying I want them to attack, but I want their players not sitting on the edge of this box. You need to create space. Obviously, we're not great to create our own space. We need them to help us create space.
Again, though, I've got to disagree with that because I want to start seeing this Everton team because I know where you're coming from.
We're not that team, though.
But we've got to become that team because if we don't, we won't become a team.
I don't think Marcus Silva's that manager either.
I know, but regardless of that, if we don't become a team that can beat teams that don't want to play against us, we are never going to.
Though.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is, we will never become a top 6 team if we can't beat teams who don't want to come out. You can't rely on teams coming to Goodison Park and going, guess what, lads, we're going to have a game against you today, because a lot won't. We've got to win the games like Sheffield United. Yeah. And I know this won't be that kind of team, but if these decide to sit in, and we can't break them down, then we've got bigger problems.
I think what Andy's saying is, you know, this will be a different style of team. They're not a team that's gonna sit. If they do sit, we've struggled, and you don't want to see that. I know what you're saying. You're saying we've got to get that good at what we do, that it doesn't matter what system, whatever system you're playing, we're gonna break you down. And that what will happen with this, and this, the way Everton should play, should work against any team, and that is having runners from midfield, mobility, getting Tom Davies forward passing, get a Wobie. I'd like to see a Wobie back in there with Davies. And if it's Schneiderlin or Delph, pick you know. I'm hoping, I'm praying that Bernard's fit, because he gives us that extra little dimension off the left hand side. But you know, we'll see if it is. Otherwise, leave Richarlison where he is, but play Wobie central anyway. Get at them, because I think if Dom come back in for that, because Jens Olsen's missed Turkey games through injury, so he's not fully fit.
Do you not think Richarlison go up front if Bernard's
I don't know
back?
Because I think Dom's capable. He may do. He may well do. But what I'm saying is, if you've got,
do you think he's going to drop Walcott?
No, Walcott's playing.
So what I'm saying, Walcott,
if Bernard's fit, then Richarlison may play through the middle. But what I'm saying to you is, if he isn't, you've got the mix of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. But what we have to have is movement. It'll come from our fullbacks. And I think if Schneiderlin plays, particularly in this game, we really should be able to play
3 at the back, essentially.
3 at 0-7. Almost, because our fullbacks will be bombing right on, which they should be doing. And then what you're looking for then is what we had very well against West Ham, is that Walcott tucking in, and whoever's off the left, if it's Bernard that day was tucking in, and then that enables us to get round them and be busy moving. But if you've got a Wobie and you've got Tom Davies splitting them and breaking forward, that'll give us the opportunity to put these to bed. And if Everton do it right, these are that open, and I've seen these enough give up ridiculous number of chances. Aston Villa put 5 past these. Aston Villa with Wesley even scored past them. Exactly. So therefore, there's an opportunity for Everton at the weekend to put in a good display and win the game convincingly, and that gives everybody a boost. It boosts the manager, it boosts the fans, and more importantly, it boosts the players.
I agree with the Schneiderlin thing, because if you watch the Southampton game, that was what he should do. Nothing expansive.
Nothing else. Get it.
Just screen. Drop in as a third centre back when we're out the pitch. Don't do anything else. That's it. The problem with a lot of the time when Schneiderlin's playing for Everton is I don't know if it's him or whatever happens, he seems to end up trying to get involved, trying to break teams down. He can't do that. No. His role is just a screen, and then it allows those full-backs just to get high. I think Stevie get eye whether he was told to or not, to be honest with you.
Of course he would.
But you know,
Afro man, isn't he?
Well, I'm also you know, it'd be good to see Stevie against a team with a bit more, will have a bit more space, I think, because I think he can help us to break teams down better.
Definitely. His passing ability is brilliant, as we seen the assist in the last game for the winner.
And you've got Holgate at the back then to get you out if they do counter attack, and that's why I think it's probably better, whatever you think of Holgate, he adds a bit of balance, because that pace where he can cover the space in at right back behind Sadidi, and that's important.
He's doing really well, and him and Mina have been excellent.
I think it's an important game, because if we can get 3 points, mentally get up the table a little bit, and then stop. I think that in the last few weeks we've all been looking, even though it's early, we've all been looking at the table going, this doesn't look good, and mentally that must be tough going into a game thinking, if we don't get the 3 points in this game, we're right back down there, and you're just trying to get that momentum just to get away from it. So when you play in games, you're not always thinking, if we don't win this game, that's going to drop us back down again. You want to be in a position where you're thinking, but if we win this game, we can be in the top 6 or we can be top 7, and you keep on looking to get into that next group of teams. Because while you're in the bottom tier or bottom part of the league, you can only go so far, and that's why back-to-back wins are so important. I mean, you know, if you can get like 3 wins in a row, it makes you can change your season.
Also, you can points on the board pre that what people deem as a tough run. Maybe it won't, because Everton do tend to play better against teams that are more attacking. But that's the key, and it also gets the fans. And you know, whether you agree like Marco Silva or not, I think the team and him not being under pressure is better for everyone. And then you look at the end of the season, then if you want to go there, rather than every game, you know, it's up and down.
Exactly.
You need to just forget about Marco Silva. He's the manager. Get behind him. But what I would say is, if we were to win at the weekend, we'd have a 10-point lead over Norwich. They were bottom.
Yes.
So that's what you. No, but listen.
No, I agree.
You have to be looking at this, because we've got a tough thing coming up. You know, Southampton, I've got 8 points go to Arsenal. You'd expect Arsenal to win that. Yeah. So then that'd be 9 points ahead of them. And, you know, West Ham, they've got they play Spurs, and that's a tough game, maybe a draw. You know, so teams down there who are around you, Watford and Burnley, you know.
What about the teams above? Well,
of course, listen, Liverpool play Palace at Palace.
It's an easy game.
Liverpool would win that. Brighton have got Leicester. You'd expect Leicester to win there. So, or a draw. Bournemouth and Wolves could be a draw. So Everton could find themselves quite comfortably in the top.
Probably one of the best fixtures we
exactly. So in the top 10 at the weekend, with big gap again away from the bottom 3. So a couple of weeks ago we're worrying last game that Southampton, who were in the bottom 3, would go level with us. So after this weekend, we could conceivably be 9 and 10 points. So that immediately, as a player, you look and then you start going, right, who's above us? There's 2 points.
Yeah.
We go into Leicester. Now, don't forget December. Leicester, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, United. It's horrific on paper, on one hand.
Names,
right, on one hand. But on another hand, who's to say we won't beat... I'm quite confident we'll beat Arsenal at home. I'm quite
Leicester, Liverpool are in form.
I think we'll beat Chelsea at home. I really do, because I think they'll be open. It'll be tough, but I think we can beat them. Who's to say we don't nick a point at Leicester? We don't nick a point at... So we could end up with those fixtures like last season where everyone was going, we've lost all them, they're going to be bottom. You could come out with 2 wins, 2 draws and 2 defeats or something, and you're going, we're 3 points off Europe at the turn of the year.
I think it's more over in December. It's just the amount of games
games would
and
be difficult.
That
injuries as well.
That's what I'm saying. That you look at it and you just can't.
We've got 2 home games. Arsenal on 21st, and then a 5-day break for Burnley.
And then we've got Burnley.
Last year we had 2 days.
And then we've got Newcastle.
Burnley is a Boxing Day present.
Boxing Day at home.
That's not the worst 3 games you won over Christmas, is it? Arsenal home, Burnley at home, and Newcastle away. That's not that bad. Yeah. And okay, we've got Man City New Year's Day. Well, that's just the way it is. That's out the way then.
Still the title
that's out the way.
But then what you've done is you've played City twice by January the 1st, and they're gone. And then you're into the second.
Give them the points that they needed.
Exactly. And so
we've done our bit for the champion.
Exactly.
So we've done our bit for the country. Let's be honest. So we're into the second half of the season then, and if you're like that, in touching distance, 4, 5, 6 points even of Europe, that's your aim. Forget about that then. You start going, they're our aim, they're the team we're chasing, and those horrible fixes are out the way. Who's to say Everton don't win 4 of those 7 games?
Some of them are going to. I think the top 4. I think Leicester are going to find. I think what's going to happen. I think there's a point of overrating Leicester now. Don't get me wrong. I thought they'd be good before they'd start this season, but there's a point now where people are going, Rodgers for this job and that
momentum,
job.
Isn't it?
It is, but
I
think what's going to happen is, and this happened under Everton and Martinez's second season, teams are going to go, we can't play open against these. We're going to sit in. And let's see Jamie Vardy score when teams sit in, don't give them space.
No space behind.
Leicester, when they won the title, teams still didn't do that against them for whatever reason.
People need to give them a little bit of respect now, because they're flying. They're playing brilliantly. Vardy's playing brilliantly. And I think if teams do start sitting in against them, they find it difficult. Listen, they've had unbelievable good fortune as well so far. The VAR, got a victory against Burnley, but they should never have got because of VAR. And Burnley had sat in and made it difficult for them that day. So
can I just say we're playing Norwich?
No, we were just talking about the whole league, but I think for Saturday for us, it's just about that. It's about trying to get that momentum, I think. And if Everton win at the weekend, we've won 4 home games this season out of 6. 7 we drew with Spurs. So we've won more than 50% of our home games. Yes, we want that to be higher, but it's all about that momentum, and then it becomes the away games then, and it always will be, because generally we've got that. That's
one. We're all right for 6 months.
No, but that's one thing out the way.
No, but we needed to get that hump off our back, because that's the mill over.
Oh God, every time.
Mill over your neck.
A millstone round his neck.
Millstone round his neck.
Yeah.
I'm still dealing with the
monkey off the back, millstone round his neck. You're throwing them all out here. He's got the hump. I don't know what.
Anywho, phrases.
Can we just be quiet now, because I just want to finish.
Okay, go on.
You want to finish?
He's bored, I think. Go on, mate. Pucky pies.
Okay. We need coffee. There you go. Thanks for listening to the Toffee TV.
That was very abrupt.
No, because you two are going on Buzz talking like nonsense.
You've just been buzzed.
Absolute nonsense.
Buzzed off.
Yeah. He was a good player, good centre forward in Baz.
He still is.
Plays like Frankfurt.
He's doing well in Germany.
Right, let's finish. We're finishing. Podcast is done. Don't forget to check out our Duncan Ferguson interview, because it's very good.
Goodbye.
If you haven't heard. So here's the 3 points on Saturday against Norwich.
Whoa!
Here's 2 3 points. That's me saying here's 2 3 points.
Can't have 2 points.
Oh my God. You talk
See you later.
utter nonsense.
On that note,
if you want the video of this podcast, because you might want it, because you'll get to see us talking nonsense rather than just hearing us talking nonsense. That is on Patreon.
Oh, check out the Douglas Ferguson video. I don't know if you just said that.
I did just say.
But I'd just like to say that it's a really great interview, just as a bipartisan.
Oh, okay.
I think it was really good.
You just don't agree.
He was great, wasn't he?
He was brilliant.
And that's what it's about.
You know, to be honest with you, only see Douglas Ferguson on the outside. I'll finish.
You get to see the inside of him on this video.
Yeah, you too. Lovely scar. So there you go. But no, it was a really great interview. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
On that note,
I mean, it wasn't us, it was him, but thank you.
There you go. The podcast will be back next week. But there's loads of videos. Check them all out on Patreon and YouTube. Thanks for listening and watching on Patreon. Bye.